From therapy room to living room. Whether you've experienced therapy before or are exploring self-help for the first time, this book offers simple, practical strategies to help you feel more in control of your mind, emotions, and relationships. The teachings in this book are inspired by Audify stories, where the wisdom from therapy is shared in ways that are easy to understand and apply. Here, you'll learn how to become your own psychologist, manage your emotions, communicate more clearly, and heal from past pain. You'll discover how to turn off the autopilot and take charge of your thoughts and behaviors, while also building deeper connections with the people around you. Chapter 1: Becoming Your Own Psychologist. Taking control of your mental and emotional health doesn't always require a professional therapist. While therapy can be incredibly beneficial, you also have the ability to become your own psychologist by learning how to reflect on your emotions and thoughts, understand what drives you, and recognize patterns in your behavior. This chapter will guide you through the key steps of self-reflection, identifying your emotional triggers, and understanding the patterns that shape your actions and reactions. Look yourself in the mirror. Self-reflection is the process of looking inward, examining your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors to understand them more deeply. It's about asking yourself questions, being curious about why you feel a certain way, and recognizing how your mind works. Self-reflection allows you to see yourself more clearly. When you regularly reflect, you can uncover what makes you feel anxious, happy, frustrated, or motivated. This insight leads to better decision-making, more emotional balance, and an overall deeper understanding of yourself. Without self-reflection, you may react on autopilot, acting on emotions without fully understanding them. To start practicing self-reflection, set aside quiet time. You need space to think clearly, whether that's journaling, meditating, or simply sitting in silence. Ask yourself honest questions. What made me feel this way? How did I react? Why do I believe this? What am I afraid of? Listen to your inner voice. Pay attention to what comes up when you ask yourself these questions. Often, your immediate thoughts reveal deep emotional insights. Make self-reflection a daily habit, even for a few minutes. By building a routine of examining your inner world, you start to notice patterns and deeper truths. Emotions that shape you. Emotional triggers are events, situations, or even people that provoke a strong emotional reaction in you. These reactions may feel automatic and overpowering, but they can be understood and managed once you recognize them. An emotional trigger is anything that stirs up a powerful emotional response. You may feel anger, sadness, anxiety, or frustration, seemingly out of nowhere. Triggers often stem from past experiences or unresolved emotions that resurface in certain situations. By identifying these triggers, you gain the power to respond instead of react. How to identify your emotional triggers. Observe your reactions. Pay attention to moments when your emotions seem to take over. Ask yourself what happened just before you started feeling that way. Track recurring emotions. If certain feelings, like anger, anxiety, or sadness, keep coming up, they are likely tied to a specific trigger. Look for patterns in context. Do certain places, people, or situations consistently make you feel a certain way? Identifying these patterns will help you spot your triggers faster. For example, if you notice that every time you get constructive criticism at work, you feel defensive or anxious, the trigger could be a fear of failure or a deep-seated need for approval. Understanding this will allow you to work on your response rather than being overtaken by your emotions. When you feel triggered, pause and name the emotion. Simply saying, "I'm feeling anxious because of this situation," helps you separate the trigger from your emotional response, giving you more control. Seeing your patterns. Your behavior is influenced by deep-seated patterns that may stem from your childhood, past experiences, or learned habits. Recognizing these patterns is key to making meaningful changes in how you respond to the world around you. Behavioral patterns often run on autopilot, leading you to react in ways you may not fully understand. Some of these patterns are healthy, while others may keep you stuck in a cycle of negative thinking or self-sabotage. Recognizing these patterns helps you break free from harmful habits, build healthier responses to stress, improve relationships by being more mindful of your reactions. How to recognize patterns in your behavior. Look at recurring actions. Do you always shut down during conflict? Do you procrastinate when you're stressed? Recognize the behaviors that repeat themselves. Analyze your reactions to stress. Notice how you react under pressure. Do you lash out, withdraw, or feel overwhelmed? Stress often reveals underlying patterns in how you cope. Connect behaviors with emotions. Your actions are usually tied to emotions. If you constantly react with anger, is it covering up fear or insecurity? Take time to examine your responses in key areas of life, work, relationships, and personal challenges. Ask yourself, is this behavior helping or hurting me? Is there a different way I could respond? Awareness is the first step toward making positive changes. When you recognize a negative pattern, take immediate action. Break it down into smaller parts. What triggers the behavior, how you feel, and what the result is. Then, decide on one small change you can make in response. This helps you shift the pattern over time. To become your own psychologist means learning to understand yourself deeply. It's like looking at yourself in a mirror from an outside perspective and taking steps to change what's not serving you. You hold the tools to really understand yourself and actually choose what kind of person you want to be. Chapter 2: Building Control on Your Own. Emotional control is a skill you can develop on your own, and it begins with self-awareness. To take control of your emotions, you need to understand how they work, what triggers them, and the patterns that guide your behavior. By mastering these three areas, understanding self-reflection, identifying emotional triggers, and recognizing behavioral patterns, you can start to take charge of your emotional reactions and respond to situations in healthier ways. Understanding self-reflection. Self-reflection is the key to understanding why you feel and react the way you do. It's the practice of pausing, looking inward, and asking yourself what's happening inside your mind. Why is self-reflection important? Self-reflection allows you to understand your emotions on a deeper level. Without it, you might react to situations without fully understanding why. When you take the time to reflect, you become aware of what causes your emotions, whether it's stress, frustration, or happiness. This awareness gives you the power to choose how to respond instead of letting your emotions control you. How to practice self-reflection. Pause and think. When you feel a strong emotion, pause and take a moment to think about what's causing it. What just happened? How are you feeling about it? Ask yourself questions. What am I feeling right now? Why did I react that way? Is this emotion helpful in this situation? Be honest with yourself. It's important to be truthful during self-reflection. If you're feeling angry or hurt, acknowledge it without judgment. Make self-reflection a habit. Whether you write in a journal or simply sit in quiet thought, taking time each day to reflect on your emotions will help you build better emotional control over time. What triggers your feelings? Emotional triggers are events or situations that cause a strong emotional reaction, often without you realizing why. Everyone has triggers, but identifying them is crucial if you want to gain control over your emotions. What are emotional triggers? Triggers are specific situations, words, or actions that spark an intense emotional reaction, usually linked to past experiences or unresolved feelings. When you're triggered, it's easy to feel overwhelmed or out of control. But by recognizing your triggers, you can manage your reactions more effectively. How to identify your emotional triggers. Notice patterns in your reactions. Are there certain situations that always make you feel angry or anxious? These are likely emotional triggers. Reflect on past experiences. Sometimes, triggers are connected to past experiences. If you get upset when someone criticizes you, it might be because of a past experience where you felt judged. Pay attention to strong emotions. When you feel a strong emotion, ask yourself if something specific set it off. Did someone say or do something that made you react more intensely than usual? For example, if you often feel anxious when you're in a crowded place, that may be a trigger tied to past experiences or fears. By understanding this, you can prepare yourself for similar situations and learn ways to calm your mind. Once you identify your triggers, work on responding differently. For example, if criticism is a trigger, practice staying calm and listening without taking it personally. This helps you break the cycle of emotional reactions. Recognizing patterns in your behavior. Your behavior is shaped by patterns, repeated actions and responses that you may not even realize you're following. Some of these patterns are helpful, while others may be holding you back. By recognizing your behavioral patterns, you can make conscious choices to change the ones that don't serve you. Why is it important to recognize behavioral patterns? Behavioral patterns often develop without us noticing. You might respond to stress by avoiding responsibilities, or you may get defensive during arguments without thinking. Recognizing these patterns gives you the chance to break free from automatic responses and choose healthier actions. For instance, if you avoid conflict because it makes you uncomfortable, this might be a pattern you've developed over time to avoid stress. Recognizing this allows you to work on facing difficult conversations with more confidence. When you recognize a negative pattern, try changing just one part of it. For example, instead of avoiding conflict, practice speaking up calmly. Small changes can lead to big shifts in how you manage difficult situations. Building control over your emotions is about understanding how they work and how they influence your behavior. Through self-reflection, you gain the ability to pause and examine your feelings before reacting. By identifying your emotional triggers, you become aware of the situations that set off strong emotional responses, and by recognizing your behavioral patterns, you can make conscious decisions to change unhelpful habits. To truly take control of your emotions, it's important to 1. Practice self-reflection regularly. Make it a daily habit to check in with your thoughts and emotions, even for a few minutes. 2. Pay attention to emotional triggers. Notice the situations that cause strong emotional reactions and reflect on why they affect you. 3. Examine your behavior patterns. Identify the actions you repeat in response to stress or emotions, and choose small, intentional changes. It's not about never feeling strong emotions, it's about knowing how to manage them in a healthy, productive way. With time and practice, you'll develop the ability to stay grounded and intentional in your responses, no matter what life throws your way. Chapter 33: Finding Your Inner Calm in Arguments. Arguments are something everyone experiences, whether it's with friends, family members, or even strangers. When emotions rise, it's easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment, leading to hurtful words, misunderstandings, and unresolved conflict. However, there are ways to handle arguments that lead to better outcomes for everyone involved. In this chapter, we'll explore how you can find your inner calm during disagreements by recognizing your triggers, staying grounded, actively listening, responding instead of reacting, choosing your words wisely, and finding resolutions without compromising your values. What triggers you in an argument? The first step to handling an argument is understanding what sets you off. These are your emotional triggers, and they are specific situations or phrases that cause you to react strongly. Knowing your triggers can help you stay ahead of your emotions instead of being controlled by them. What are emotional triggers in arguments? Triggers are things that cause an immediate emotional reaction. For example, you might feel upset if someone interrupts you, accuses you of something unfair, or brings up a sensitive subject from your past. Triggers can be connected to old memories or things you've been hurt by. Referee: How to identify your triggers. Think about past arguments. What types of comments or actions made you upset? Reflect on how those things connect to your emotions. Pay attention to your body signals. Often your body reacts to a trigger before your mind realizes it. You might feel your face get hot, your heart race, or your muscles tighten. Look for patterns. Do certain phrases or situations upset you? More often, if so, these are likely triggers you need to be aware of. Once you know your triggers, you can prepare for how to handle them. For example, if you realize that being interrupted makes you angry, you can calmly express to the other person that you would like to finish your thought without being cut off. Stay grounded during conflict. Staying grounded means staying calm and centered even when emotions are running high in the middle of an argument. This can be difficult, but it is one of the most important skills you can develop to keep arguments from escalating. Why is staying grounded important? When you're grounded, you're in control of your emotions, and you're able to think clearly. If you let your emotions take over, you might say or do things you regret later. Staying calm also helps the other person feel more at ease, reducing the overall tension of the situation. How to stay grounded during conflict? Take deep breaths. When you start to feel upset, take a few slow, deep breaths. Breathing deeply helps calm your body and mind, giving you time to think before you speak. Stay focused on the present. It's easy to get swept away by old arguments or past issues. Instead, focus on what's happening right now and address the current issue. Acknowledge your feelings. Don't ignore how you feel. Recognize when you're getting upset and remind yourself that you're in control of how you respond. If you feel overwhelmed, it's okay to ask for a short break to calm down. Stepping away from the conversation for a few minutes can give you time to collect your thoughts and emotions before continuing the discussion. Listen with a heart full of understanding. Listening is just as important as talking during an argument. When you actively listen, you are fully paying attention to what the other person is saying instead of focusing on what you want to say next. Active listening helps reduce misunderstandings and makes the other person feel heard. Why is active listening important in arguments? Arguments often escalate because people feel like they aren't being heard. When you listen carefully, you show respect for the other person's feelings and point of view, even if you disagree. This makes it easier to find common ground and resolve the issue. How to practice active listening? Focus on the speaker. Make eye contact, nod to show that you're listening, and avoid interrupting. Give the speaker your full attention. Repeat back what you heard. After they've finished speaking, summarize what they said in your own words to make sure you understood correctly. For example, so you're saying that you felt upset when I didn't call you back. Ask clarifying questions. If something isn't clear, ask questions to better understand their point of view. Can you explain what you mean by that? Is a good way to invite more information without sounding confrontational. After actively listening, thank the person for sharing their thoughts. This simple gesture can help reduce tension and show that you're trying to work towards a solution. Choosing to respond, not react. When emotions are high, it's easy to react without thinking. Reacting is often quick and emotional, while responding involves taking a moment to think about what the best course of action is. Learning to respond thoughtfully is one of the best ways to keep arguments from spiraling out of control. What's the difference between reacting and responding? Reacting is what happens when you immediately say something based on emotion without taking time to think it through. This often leads to hurt feelings or saying something you regret. Responding, on the other hand, means pausing to think about how you can address the situation calmly and effectively. How to respond instead of react. Pause before speaking. When you feel the urge to react quickly, take a moment to breathe and collect your thoughts. This gives you time to consider your words carefully. Think about the outcome you want. What is the goal of this conversation? Do you want to resolve the issue or just win the argument? Focus on finding a solution rather than proving you're right. Choose a calm tone. Even if you're upset, try to keep your tone calm and steady. This helps lower the emotional intensity of the conversation. When you respond, focus on how you feel rather than blaming the other person. Use I statements like, I feel hurt when you ignore my messages, instead of you always ignore me. This approach reduces defensiveness and helps keep the conversation constructive. Speak words that heal, not hurt. The words you choose during an argument matter. Harsh words can escalate tension and lead to more hurt feelings, while thoughtful words can bring calmness and understanding. By choosing your words wisely, you can make arguments less intense and more productive. Why is it important to choose your words carefully? Words can either make a conflict worse or help solve it. If you speak out of anger, you might say things you don't mean, and this can make the other person feel attacked. On the other hand, choosing kind and respectful words can help keep the conversation focused on resolving the issue. How to choose your words wisely. Avoid insults or accusations. Words like you never or you always are likely to make the other person feel defensive. Instead, stick to facts and how the situation makes you feel. Be clear and specific. Instead of making vague statements, be clear about what you're upset about and what you would like to see change. For example, I feel upset when you don't tell me your plans, is clearer than you don't care about me. Stay respectful. Even when you're upset, try to speak respectfully. Remember that you're trying to resolve the issue, not make things worse. Before you speak, ask yourself, will these words help solve the problem, or will they make it worse? This can help guide you to use language that's more constructive. Happy end without compromise. At the end of an argument, the goal should be to find a resolution that works for both people, without anyone feeling like they've had to give up something important. Resolution means finding common ground and agreeing on how to move forward, while still staying true to your values. Why is resolution important? Arguments that don't end with resolution often lead to frustration and lingering resentment. When both people feel like their concerns have been heard and addressed, it's easier to move on from the conflict. How to find resolution without compromise? Focus on common goals. Instead of focusing on your differences, look for common ground. What do both of you want to achieve? For example, both of you might want to feel respected in the relationship. Be open to solutions. Sometimes, the best solutions aren't immediately obvious. Be willing to listen to the other person's suggestions and work together to find a solution that satisfies both of you. Agree on next steps. Once you've discussed the issue, agree on what needs to change moving forward. This could be something simple like improving communication or setting clearer boundaries. After finding a resolution, take a moment to reflect on what you both learned from the argument. This helps reinforce the resolution and can prevent future conflicts over the same issue. Finding your inner calm during arguments isn't always easy, but it's a skill that can be learned and practiced. By recognizing your emotional triggers, staying grounded, actively listening, responding thoughtfully, choosing your words wisely, and seeking resolution without compromise, you can transform arguments into opportunities for growth and understanding. Remember, it's not about avoiding conflict altogether. It's about learning how to handle it in a way that leads to better relationships and personal growth. With practice, you'll find that arguments become less stressful and more productive, helping you build stronger connections with the people in your life. Chapter 4. Turn off the autopilot. Do you ever feel like you're just going through the motions, without really thinking about what you're doing? You wake up, go to school or work, come home, and do it all over again the next day. This is what we call living on autopilot. It's when we do things automatically, without much thought or awareness. While it's normal to fall into routines, living this way too often can keep you from experiencing life fully. In this chapter, we'll explore how to break free from autopilot and start living with more awareness. We'll cover how to identify when you're on autopilot, how to bring mindfulness into your daily routines, how to reclaim your thoughts and actions, and the importance of practicing presence in each moment. Finally, we'll talk about embracing conscious decision-making so that you feel more in control of your life. You're on autopilot. The first step to turning off autopilot is recognizing when you're on it. Autopilot happens when you repeat the same actions over and over without really thinking about them. It's like when you drive somewhere and don't even remember the drive because you were lost in thought. What does living on autopilot look like? Mindless routines. You do the same things every day, but you're not fully aware of what you're doing. For example, brushing your teeth or eating breakfast without thinking. Distracted thinking. You might be physically present, but your mind is elsewhere. Maybe you're thinking about what's going to happen later in the day or worrying about something that hasn't happened yet. Feeling disconnected. When you're on autopilot, you might feel like time is passing by, but you're not really experiencing it. You might miss out on small moments that could bring joy or understanding. How to know when you're on autopilot? Check in with yourself. During the day, pause and ask yourself, am I fully paying attention right now? If you find that your mind is wandering or you don't remember what you've been doing, you're likely on autopilot. Notice patterns. If you feel like each day is blending into the next without much change, you might be stuck in a routine where you're not fully engaged. Reflect on your mood. Sometimes being on autopilot makes you feel like you're just getting through the day rather than enjoying it. Make a habit of regularly asking yourself, "Am I paying attention right now?" This small check-in can help you snap out of autopilot and become more mindful of what's happening around you. Being aware in daily routines. Once you've recognized that you're on autopilot, the next step is to bring mindfulness into your daily routines. Mindfulness means being fully present in the moment and paying attention to what's happening right now. It's about slowing down and noticing the small details of your experience. Why is mindfulness important? Being mindful helps you feel more connected to your life. Instead of rushing through tasks without thinking, mindfulness allows you to appreciate each moment. It can make even simple routines, like eating or walking, feel more meaningful. How to bring mindfulness into daily routines. Focus on one task at a time. When you're doing something, whether it's eating, studying, or cleaning, give that task your full attention. Notice how it feels, looks, smells, and sounds. Slow down. Instead of rushing through your routine, take your time. Pay attention to the small actions, like how your feet feel when they touch the ground as you walk, or how the food tastes as you eat. Let go of distractions. Try to do your routines without multitasking. For example, when you eat, don't look at your phone or watch TV. Just focus on the meal. Start small by choosing one routine, like brushing your teeth or eating breakfast, to practice mindfulness each day. As you get used to paying more attention, you can bring mindfulness to other parts of your life. Reclaiming your thoughts and actions. When you're on autopilot, it's easy to let your thoughts and actions be controlled by habit or outside influences. Reclaiming your thoughts means being aware of what you're thinking and deciding how you want to act, rather than just going along with what's easy or familiar. Why is it important to reclaim your thoughts and actions? When you're mindful of your thoughts and actions, you're more in control of your life. Instead of reacting automatically, you make conscious choices that align with your goals and values. How to reclaim your thoughts and actions. Become aware of your thoughts. Start paying attention to your inner dialogue. Are your thoughts helpful or negative? Are they guiding you towards something positive, or are they keeping you stuck? Question your actions. Ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing. Are you doing something because it's what you really want, or because it's a habit or what others expect? Make intentional choices. Once you're aware of your thoughts and actions, you can start making choices that feel right for you. This might mean changing your routine, trying something new, or simply doing things with more purpose. Set aside time each day to reflect on your thoughts and actions. Journaling or simply sitting quietly and thinking can help you become more aware of your habits and make intentional changes. Being present in every breath. Being present means fully engaging in the moment you're in, without letting your mind drift to the past or future. Practicing presence is about letting go of distractions and focusing entirely on what's happening right now. Why is presence important? When you practice presence, you experience life more fully. You notice the details, connect better with the people around you, and feel more satisfied with your day-to-day experiences. How to practice presence. Notice your surroundings. Wherever you are, take a moment to really see and appreciate your environment. Notice the colors, sounds, and smells around you. Be present with people. When talking with someone, give them your full attention. Listen to what they're saying without thinking about your response or what you need to do next. Engage your senses. Use your senses to anchor yourself in the present. Feel the texture of the chair you're sitting on, hear the sounds around you, or focus on the taste of the food you're eating. Choose one activity each day where you commit to being fully present. This could be during a conversation, while eating, or even when walking outside. Over time, you'll find that practicing presence becomes easier and more natural. Embracing conscious decision-making. When you're on autopilot, decisions often get made for you by habit, other people's expectations, or simply what's easiest. Conscious decision-making is about taking control of your choices and making decisions that reflect your true values and desires. Why is conscious decision-making important? Conscious decisions lead to a life that feels more fulfilling and aligned with who you are. Instead of letting things happen to you, you take charge of your direction. How to embrace conscious decision-making? Pause before deciding. When faced with a choice, big or small, take a moment to pause and consider your options. Don't just go with the first thing that comes to mind. Weigh your values. Think about what matters most to you. Does the decision align with your values and goals, or are you making the choice out of convenience or pressure? Trust yourself. Making conscious decisions means trusting your instincts and what feels right for you, even if it's different from what others might do. Practice conscious decision-making by starting with small choices, like how you spend your free time or what you eat. As you get comfortable with making thoughtful decisions, you can apply this skill to bigger life choices. Chapter 5. Communicate your heart better. Communication is more than just talking. It's about truly connecting with others in meaningful ways, having heart-to-heart conversations, real and open. Whether you're sharing your feelings, expressing a need, or trying to resolve a conflict, how you communicate can strengthen your relationships or create distance. The way you choose to express yourself directly affects how well others understand and respond to you. In this chapter, we'll focus on key skills that will help you communicate more effectively. Speaking honestly and authentically, expressing your needs clearly, listening with empathy, handling difficult conversations, understanding nonverbal cues, and creating safe spaces for open dialogue. These skills will help you express your true self while building trust and respect in your relationships. Through better communication, you'll feel more connected, heard, and understood. Speaking with deep truth. Honest and authentic communication means speaking your truth, saying what you truly feel and believe. It's about being genuine, not just saying what you think others want to hear. When you speak honestly, you allow others to see the real you, and that helps build trust and deeper connections. Why is honesty important in communication? When you're honest, people are more likely to trust you. Trust is a key part of any good relationship. Being honest also helps avoid confusion and misunderstandings. If you aren't clear about what you think or feel, others might make assumptions that aren't true, which can lead to problems down the road. How to speak honestly and authentically. Speak from your heart. When you talk about your feelings, be open and truthful. For example, instead of saying "I'm fine" when you're upset, you could say, "I'm feeling sad because of what happened today." Be yourself. Don't try to say what you think others want to hear. Speak in a way that reflects who you really are and what you believe. Avoid exaggeration or sugarcoating. Don't make your feelings sound bigger than they are just to get attention, and don't downplay how you really feel to avoid conflict. Stick to what's true for you. Before speaking, take a moment to check in with yourself. Ask, am I being honest with how I feel? If not, adjust your words to reflect your true thoughts and feelings. Expressing your needs clearly. Expressing your needs is about telling others what you require to feel supported, understood, and cared for. People aren't mind readers. If you don't clearly express what you need, others may not know how to help or respond in the way that's best for you. Why is it important to express your needs? When you express your needs clearly, it helps you avoid frustration and resentment. If others don't know what you need, they might unknowingly do or say things that upset you. Being clear about your needs allows you to build healthier, more supportive relationships. How to express your needs clearly. Be specific. Don't assume that others will guess what you need. Be direct and clear. For example, instead of saying, "I need help," say, "I need help with my homework tonight." Use I statements. Start your sentences with "I" to make your needs about you, not about blaming the other person. For instance, "I need some quiet time" is better than "you're being too loud." Explain why it matters. Help others understand why your need is important. For example, "I need some space because I'm feeling overwhelmed right now." When expressing your needs, think about what you really need to feel better or supported. Be clear, and remember that it's okay to ask for what you need. It doesn't make you selfish. Listening with an open heart. Listening is one of the most important skills in communication, but it's not just about hearing words. Listening with empathy means trying to understand the other person's feelings and point of view. When you listen empathetically, you create a deeper connection because the other person feels truly heard. Why is empathy important in listening? Empathy helps you understand not just what the person is saying, but also how they're feeling. It makes the other person feel valued and respected, which can help build trust and strengthen relationships. How to listen with empathy. Give your full attention. When someone is talking, focus entirely on what they're saying. Don't think about your response or get distracted by other things. Acknowledge their feelings. Show that you understand how they feel. You can say, "It sounds like you're feeling frustrated," or "I can see that this is really important to you." Avoid interrupting or judging. Let the person finish talking before you speak. Don't jump in with your opinions or judgments, and don't try to fix the problem right away unless they ask for your help. When listening to someone, focus on their emotions as well as their words. Imagine how you'd feel in their situation, and let them know that you understand. Handling tough talks. Some conversations are tough. Whether it's talking about a disagreement, delivering bad news, or addressing a sensitive issue, difficult conversations can feel uncomfortable. But avoiding them can lead to bigger problems later on. Handling difficult conversations with care helps you solve problems and maintain healthy relationships. Why are difficult conversations important? Avoiding tough conversations might feel easier in the short term, but it usually leads to more stress and unresolved issues in the long run. Facing these conversations head-on allows you to deal with problems before they grow larger. How to handle difficult conversations. Prepare yourself. Before you start the conversation, think about what you want to say and how you want to say it. Take time to calm your nerves and think through the situation. Stay calm and respectful. It's important to stay calm during difficult conversations, even if emotions are running high. Speak respectfully, and try to avoid letting frustration or anger take over. Focus on the issue, not the person. Instead of blaming the other person, focus on the problem at hand. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen," try saying, "I feel hurt when I don't feel heard." When you know a conversation will be difficult, take a moment to prepare. Stay focused on solving the problem, and remember that you're working together to find a resolution, not to win an argument. The silent messages of body language. Communication isn't just about words. Nonverbal cues, like body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice, can say just as much, if not more, than what you're actually saying. Understanding nonverbal communication helps you interpret the other person's feelings and also make sure your own message is clear. Why are nonverbal cues important? Nonverbal communication gives context to your words. For example, saying "I'm fine" while crossing your arms and frowning sends a very different message than saying the same thing with a smile. Learning to read and use nonverbal cues can help prevent misunderstandings. How to use and interpret nonverbal cues. Watch facial expressions. Pay attention to the other person's face. Are they smiling, frowning, or looking confused? Their expression can give you clues about how they're feeling. Look at body language. Are their arms crossed? Are they leaning in or pulling away? These physical movements can show if they're feeling open, closed off, or defensive. Mind your tone of voice. Your tone of voice can change the meaning of your words. A soft, calm tone suggests patience and understanding, while a loud, sharp tone may suggest anger or frustration. Be aware of your own nonverbal cues when communicating. Make sure that your body language and tone match the message you're trying to send. Likewise, pay close attention to the other person's cues to better understand how they feel. Creating safe spaces for meaningful conversations. Creating a safe space for open dialogue means making sure that people feel comfortable and secure when talking to you. When people feel safe, they're more likely to open up, share their true thoughts and feelings, and be honest without fear of judgment. Why is a safe space important? A safe space is important because it allows for honest and meaningful conversations. When people feel judged or criticized, they're more likely to shut down and stop sharing. Creating a space where everyone feels safe helps foster trust and deeper connections. How to create a safe space for open dialogue. Listen without judgment. When someone is sharing their thoughts or feelings, make sure they know that you're not going to judge them. This means listening without interrupting or criticizing. Encourage openness. Let the person know that it's okay to share how they really feel, even if it's difficult. Encourage honesty by being open yourself. Respect boundaries. Not everyone will feel ready to share everything. Respect the other person's boundaries and let them take their time. When trying to create a safe space, focus on listening and understanding rather than giving advice or opinions. Make sure the other person knows they can talk to you without fear of judgment or criticism. Good communication isn't just about talking, it's about connecting, understanding, and sharing in ways that build stronger relationships. By focusing on these 6 key skills, speaking honestly and authentically, expressing your needs clearly, listening with empathy, handling difficult conversations, understanding nonverbal cues, and creating safe spaces for open dialogue, you can learn to communicate in ways that make you feel understood and respected while building trust with others. Chapter 6. Taking care of yourself. Taking care of yourself is one of the most important things you can do. It's not just about looking after your physical body, but also about paying attention to your mental and emotional well-being. Often, life gets busy, and we forget to focus on our own needs, which can lead to stress and burnout. But by practicing self-care, you can build a stronger, healthier version of yourself, both inside and out. In this chapter, we'll explore the key elements of self-care, understanding its importance, building healthy habits, prioritizing mental health, nurturing your physical health, and practicing compassion towards yourself. By the end of this chapter, you'll have practical tools to help you take better care of yourself every day. The sacred importance of self-care. Self-care is anything you do to take care of your mental, emotional, and physical health. It's not just a luxury, it's a necessity. When you practice self-care, you ensure that you have the energy, patience, and strength to handle life's challenges. Why is self-care important? Self-care helps you recharge and maintain balance. When you neglect yourself, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, stressed, or tired. But when you take the time to care for yourself, you build resilience and become more capable of dealing with difficult situations. Self-care also prevents burnout. Burnout happens when you've been working too hard or dealing with too much stress without taking breaks. It can leave you feeling exhausted and unmotivated. Practicing regular self-care is like filling up your own tank of energy so that you don't run out. How to start practicing self-care? Set aside time for yourself, even if it's just 10 to 15 minutes a day. Make time to do something that relaxes or recharges you. Identify what makes you feel good. Self-care looks different for everyone. It might be reading a book, going for a walk, or spending time with loved ones. Make it a habit. The more you make self-care part of your routine, the easier it becomes to prioritize yourself. Best practice: treat self-care like any other important part of your schedule. Set a reminder, block out time, and stick to it, because you deserve it. Habits that nourish your body and spirit. Self-care isn't just something you do once in a while, it's about building habits that support your well-being in the long term. Healthy habits are routines and practices that help you stay balanced, energized, and positive. Why are healthy habits important? Habits shape our daily lives. Good habits can lead to better health, more energy, and a clearer mind. On the other hand, bad habits can drain your energy and leave you feeling less motivated. Building healthy habits makes self-care a natural part of your everyday life. How to build healthy habits? Start small. You don't need to change everything at once. Focus on 1 or 2 habits to start. For example, you could start by drinking more water each day or going for a short walk. Be consistent. Habits take time to form. Try to do the same activity at the same time each day until it becomes second nature. For example, if you want to start meditating, do it every morning after you wake up. Reward yourself. Celebrate your progress. Even small changes deserve recognition. Positive reinforcement can help you stay motivated. Examples of healthy habits: exercising regularly, eating balanced meals, practicing mindfulness or meditation, getting enough sleep, limiting screen time. Track your habits with a journal or app to keep yourself accountable. Checking off a habit each day can give you a sense of accomplishment and help you stay on track. Mental health, your top priority. Your mental health is just as important as your physical health. Prioritizing mental health means taking care of your mind, managing stress, and seeking help when needed. It's about finding balance and peace in your thoughts and emotions. Why is mental health important? Good mental health allows you to think clearly, make decisions, and handle stress. When your mental health is in a good place, you're more focused, creative, and able to enjoy life. On the other hand, poor mental health can lead to feelings of sadness, anxiety, or overwhelm. How to prioritize your mental health? Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the act of paying attention to the present moment. It helps you focus on what's happening right now instead of worrying about the past or future. Manage your stress. Identify what causes stress in your life and find ways to reduce it. This might mean taking breaks, talking to a friend, or practicing deep breathing. Talk to someone. If you're feeling overwhelmed or sad, it's okay to reach out for help. Talk to a trusted friend, family member, or a counselor. Sometimes just sharing your thoughts can make a big difference. Set aside time each day to check in with yourself. Ask yourself, how am I feeling today? And what can I do to support my mental health? Honoring your physical body. Taking care of your physical body is an essential part of self-care. When you nurture your physical health, you feel stronger, more energetic, and more able to handle the challenges of daily life. Why is physical health important? Your physical health affects your energy levels, mood, and overall well-being. When your body feels good, your mind feels better too. Physical activity, good nutrition, and rest all contribute to a healthy body. How to nurture your physical health? Exercise regularly. Physical activity boosts your energy, improves your mood, and helps keep your body strong. Aim to move your body in ways that you enjoy, whether it's walking, dancing, or playing a sport. Eat nutritious foods. A balanced diet gives your body the fuel it needs to function well. Focus on eating a variety of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and protein. Get enough sleep. Sleep is essential for your body to recover and recharge. Make sure you're getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. Stay hydrated. Drinking enough water is important for staying focused and energized throughout the day. Keep a water bottle with you and sip on it regularly. Create a simple daily routine that includes physical activity, healthy meals, and plenty of rest. By making small changes over time, you'll build a strong foundation for your physical health. Feeling compassion towards yourself. Compassion isn't just something you give to others. It's also something you need to give yourself. Practicing self-compassion means being kind and understanding toward yourself, especially when things don't go as planned. Why is self-compassion important? We're often our own worst critics. When we make mistakes or fall short, it's easy to beat ourselves up. But self-compassion helps you treat yourself with the kindness and patience you would show a friend. It's about recognizing that you're human and that it's okay to be imperfect. How to practice self-compassion? Be gentle with yourself. When you make a mistake, don't be harsh or critical. Instead, remind yourself that mistakes are a part of learning and growing. Speak kindly to yourself. Pay attention to your inner voice. Are you being supportive or critical? Try to replace negative self-talk with kind and encouraging words. Allow yourself to rest. It's okay to take a break when you're feeling tired or overwhelmed. Resting isn't lazy, it's necessary for your well-being. When you find yourself being hard on yourself, pause and ask, how would I speak to a friend in this situation? Then, treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding. Self-care is a combination of many small actions that add up to a healthier, happier life. By recognizing the importance of self-care, building healthy habits, prioritizing your mental health, nurturing your physical body, and practicing self-compassion, you can create a routine that supports your overall well-being. Remember, self-care isn't selfish. It's an essential part of taking care of your health so that you can show up as your best self for others and for yourself. By making self-care a priority, you're investing in a brighter, more balanced future. Chapter 7: Healing Your Hurt Self. We all go through experiences that leave us feeling hurt, whether it's from disagreements, misunderstandings, or more painful situations. These hurts can stay with us, shaping how we see ourselves and the world around us. Healing is about working through that pain, understanding it, and letting go of what no longer serves us. It's a process, but it's also one of the most important journeys you can take. In this chapter, we'll explore key ideas that will help you heal, recognizing unresolved pain, accepting the process of healing, learning from past experiences, embracing forgiveness, and rebuilding trust with yourself. Healing doesn't happen all at once, but with time, patience, and understanding, you can move forward and find peace. Seeing and accepting the pain you carry. The first step in healing is recognizing unresolved pain. Sometimes, we push painful experiences to the back of our minds, thinking that if we ignore them, they'll go away. But unresolved pain doesn't just disappear. It can show up in our emotions, our actions, and even our relationships. Why is it important to recognize unresolved pain? Unresolved pain can affect many areas of your life, even if you don't realize it. For example, you might feel angry or upset without knowing why, or you might have trouble trusting others because of something that happened in the past. Recognizing this pain helps you understand what's really going on inside. How to recognize unresolved pain. Pay attention to your emotions. Do you often feel sad, angry, or anxious? These emotions might be connected to something you haven't fully processed. Notice patterns in your behavior. If you keep reacting the same way in certain situations, like getting upset when someone disagrees with you, this could be a sign of unresolved pain. Think about past experiences. Are there events in your past that you still think about often, or that still make you feel upset? These might be unresolved issues that need attention. When you notice difficult emotions or recurring patterns in your life, take a moment to reflect on where they might be coming from. Understanding the source of your pain is the first step toward healing. It takes time to heal. Healing doesn't happen overnight. It's a process that takes time, and it's important to accept that process instead of rushing through it. Just like a physical wound takes time to heal, emotional wounds need time, patience, and care. Why is it important to accept the healing process? Trying to rush the healing process can leave you feeling frustrated or stuck. Healing is not something you can force, and accepting that it takes time can help you feel more at peace with where you are. Each person heals at their own pace, and that's okay. How to accept the healing process. Be patient with yourself. Understand that it's normal to have ups and downs while healing. Some days you may feel better, and other days you may feel like you haven't made progress, and that's completely normal. Focus on small steps. Healing isn't about making huge changes all at once. It's about taking small steps forward. Celebrate each small victory, whether it's having a good day or handling a situation better than before. Don't compare your journey. Everyone's healing process looks different. Comparing your progress to someone else's can make you feel like you're falling behind. Instead, focus on your own journey and trust that you're healing in the way that's best for you. When you feel like you're not healing fast enough, remind yourself that healing is a journey, not a race. It's okay to take things one day at a time. Progress is still progress, no matter how small. Experiences are a gift. Part of healing is learning from your past experiences. Instead of seeing them as things that happened to you, you can start to see them as things that can help you grow. Every experience, even the painful ones, can teach you something valuable about yourself and about life. Why is it important to learn from past experiences? When you learn from the past, you gain wisdom that can help you in the future. Painful experiences might teach you about your own strength, about how to set boundaries, or about what you need from others in your relationships. These lessons are powerful and can guide you moving forward. How to learn from your past. Reflect on what happened. Take time to think about past experiences, especially the ones that caused pain. What did you learn from those situations? What did they teach you about yourself, your needs, or your values? Look for patterns. Sometimes, certain types of experiences keep happening because we haven't learned the lesson they're trying to teach us. For example, if you often feel let down in relationships, think about what those situations have in common and what you might need to change moving forward. Turn pain into growth. Instead of focusing on the pain of an experience, think about how it can help you grow. How can you use what you've learned to make better choices or to approach situations differently in the future? Keep a journal where you can reflect on past experiences and what you've learned from them. Writing down your thoughts can help you see patterns and recognize important lessons. Embracing forgiveness. Forgiveness is a powerful tool in healing. But forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or excusing someone's behavior. Instead, it's about letting go of the anger, resentment, or hurt that's keeping you tied to the past. Why is forgiveness important? Holding on to anger or pain can weigh you down. When you forgive, you free yourself from the burden of carrying those negative emotions. Forgiveness is not just about the other person. It's also about freeing yourself from the pain that's holding you back. How to embrace forgiveness. Acknowledge your feelings. Before you can forgive, you need to acknowledge how you feel. Don't try to push your feelings away or pretend that everything is okay if it's not. Allow yourself to feel the hurt before you let it go. Understand that forgiveness is for you. Forgiving someone doesn't mean you're saying what they did was okay. It means you're choosing to let go of the anger and hurt so that you can move forward. Start with yourself. Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is yourself. If you're holding on to guilt or regret, try to practice self-forgiveness. Remember, everyone makes mistakes, and it's part of being human. When you're ready to forgive, say it out loud or write it down. Even if the person you're forgiving doesn't know, saying or writing, "I forgive you," can help you release the pain. Rebuilding trust with yourself. When you've been hurt, it's easy to lose trust in yourself. You might doubt your own decisions or feel like you can't trust your judgment. But rebuilding trust with yourself is an important part of healing. It helps you feel more confident and empowered as you move forward. Why is it important to trust yourself? Trusting yourself means believing in your ability to make good choices and to take care of yourself. When you trust yourself, you feel more confident in handling difficult situations, and you're less likely to depend on others for validation. How to rebuild trust with yourself. Listen to your intuition. Your intuition is that inner voice that helps guide you. Start paying attention to how you feel in different situations. Trusting your gut feelings can help you rebuild confidence in your own judgment. Make small promises to yourself. Start by setting small goals or promises, like getting up at a certain time or completing a task. Keeping these promises helps you rebuild trust in your ability to follow through. Be kind to yourself. When you make a mistake, don't be too hard on yourself. Remember, rebuilding trust takes time, and it's okay to stumble along the way. Write down times when you've made good decisions or followed through on promises to yourself. Seeing these successes can remind you that you're capable of trusting yourself. Healing your hurt self is a journey that involves recognizing your pain, accepting the healing process, learning from the past, embracing forgiveness, and rebuilding trust with yourself. It's not always easy, but each step you take brings you closer to finding peace and moving forward in a healthier, happier way. Remember, healing is personal, and everyone's journey looks different. Be patient with yourself, and know that it's okay to take things one step at a time. By working through your pain and focusing on growth, you can heal the hurt inside and build a stronger, more confident version of yourself. Chapter 8: Reach Intimacy in Relationships. Intimacy is more than just physical closeness. It's about the deep emotional connections we form with others. Whether with friends, family, or a romantic partner, intimacy means being able to share your true self without fear of judgment. In this chapter, we'll explore what emotional intimacy is, how to build trust in your relationships, why vulnerability is a strength, and how communication plays a key role in deepening connections. We'll also talk about facing fears of intimacy and how to cultivate lasting, meaningful relationships. The depth of emotional connection. Emotional intimacy is the ability to connect with someone on a deeper level. It means sharing your thoughts, feelings, and experiences openly, knowing that the other person will listen and care. When you have emotional intimacy with someone, you feel understood, supported, and valued for who you truly are. Why is emotional intimacy important? Emotional intimacy strengthens relationships by building a foundation of trust and understanding. It allows people to support each other through tough times and celebrate together during happy moments. Without emotional intimacy, relationships can feel shallow, and it becomes harder to truly connect with others. How to build emotional intimacy: share your true feelings. Don't be afraid to express how you really feel, even if it's hard. Sharing your honest thoughts creates a deeper connection. Be a good listener. When someone opens up to you, listen without interrupting or judging. Show them that you care about their feelings. Spend quality time together. Emotional intimacy grows when you spend time with someone in meaningful ways, like having deep conversations or supporting each other through challenges. Start by opening up a little more in your close relationships. You don't have to share everything at once, but letting people in helps build emotional connections over time. Trust your relationship. Trust is one of the most important parts of any relationship. Without trust, it's hard to feel safe being emotionally vulnerable with someone. Trust is built through consistency, honesty, and showing that you're there for the other person. Why is trust important in relationships? Trust allows you to feel secure in your relationships. When you trust someone, you believe that they have your best interests at heart and won't intentionally hurt or betray you. Trust also helps you open up and share more of yourself with others, deepening the connection. How to build trust in relationships: be reliable. Keep your promises and follow through on your commitments. When you show that you're dependable, people will trust you more. Be honest. Honesty is key to building trust. Even when it's hard, being truthful helps create a solid foundation for the relationship. Respect boundaries. Everyone has different comfort levels when it comes to sharing personal information or emotions. Respecting these boundaries shows that you care about the other person's feelings and builds trust. Trust takes time to build, but small actions can make a big difference. Be consistent in your words and actions, and show that you can be trusted to care for others' feelings. Vulnerability as a strength. Many people think of vulnerability as a weakness, but being vulnerable is actually a sign of strength. Vulnerability means allowing others to see your true self, including your fears, hopes, and insecurities. It takes courage to be vulnerable, but it's essential for building deep, meaningful relationships. Why is vulnerability important? Vulnerability helps you form stronger connections with others because it allows people to see the real you. When you're vulnerable, you're opening yourself up to being understood and accepted. Without vulnerability, relationships can feel distant or surface level. How to embrace vulnerability: take small steps. You don't have to share everything at once. Start by opening up about something small and see how the other person responds. Acknowledge your fears. It's okay to feel scared about being vulnerable. Recognizing those fears is the first step to working through them. Be okay with imperfection. No one is perfect, and it's important to accept that about yourself and others. Being vulnerable means being okay with showing your imperfections. When you're ready, share a personal thought or feeling with someone close to you. This can help deepen the relationship and show that vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. Deepening connections through communication. Good communication is essential for building and maintaining emotional intimacy in relationships. It's not just about talking, but about truly connecting with someone on a deeper level. Communication allows you to share your thoughts, feelings, and needs while also understanding the other person's perspective. Why is communication important for deepening connections? Clear, open communication helps you feel more connected to the people in your life. It reduces misunderstandings, builds trust, and allows both people to express their true feelings. Without good communication, it's hard to know what the other person is thinking or feeling, which can lead to distance in the relationship. How to deepen connections through communication. Be open and honest. Share your thoughts and feelings openly, and encourage the other person to do the same. Honest communication creates deeper connections. Ask thoughtful questions. Don't just talk about surface-level things. Ask questions that encourage the other person to share more about their feelings and experiences. Show empathy. When the other person is sharing, listen carefully and try to understand their feelings. Empathy helps you connect on an emotional level. During your next conversation with someone close to you, ask them a thoughtful question about how they're feeling or what's been on their mind. This can help deepen your connection and show that you care about their emotional well-being. Addressing fears of intimacy. It's normal to have fears about getting close to others. Intimacy requires vulnerability, and for some people, that can feel scary. Fear of intimacy often comes from past experiences, like being hurt or rejected. But by addressing these fears, you can move toward building closer, more meaningful relationships. Why is it important to address fears of intimacy? Fears of intimacy can prevent you from forming deep connections with others. If you're constantly worried about getting hurt, you might keep people at a distance, which can lead to loneliness or feelings of isolation. Facing these fears allows you to open up and experience the closeness and support that come from intimate relationships. How to address fears of intimacy. Identify where your fear comes from. Think about past experiences that might have contributed to your fear of intimacy. Understanding the source of your fear can help you work through it. Take small steps. You don't have to dive into deep intimacy all at once. Start by gradually opening up to others and building trust over time. Challenge negative thoughts. If you find yourself thinking, "I'll just get hurt again," challenge that thought. Remind yourself that not every relationship will end in pain, and that opening up is worth the risk. If you find yourself afraid of intimacy, talk to someone you trust about your fears. Sharing these feelings can help you feel supported and give you the confidence to work through your fears. Creating relationships that last. Building a strong, lasting relationship takes time and effort, but it's one of the most rewarding things you can do. Lasting relationships are built on trust, communication, vulnerability, and a shared commitment to supporting each other through life's ups and downs. Why are lasting relationships important? Long-lasting relationships provide stability, support, and a sense of belonging. Whether it's a friendship, a family relationship, or a romantic partnership, strong relationships can help you navigate challenges, celebrate successes, and feel connected to the people around you. How to cultivate lasting relationships. Invest time and energy. Relationships need attention to grow. Make an effort to spend quality time with the people who matter to you, and show that you're there for them. Be flexible and patient. Every relationship goes through ups and downs. Be patient during the tough times, and understand that lasting relationships require flexibility and understanding. Continue to grow together. Relationships aren't static. As you grow and change, Make sure to grow together by communicating openly and supporting each other's personal growth. Think about the important relationships in your life. How can you invest more time or energy into those connections? Small acts of kindness and communication can go a long way in strengthening your relationships. Intimacy in relationships isn't something that happens overnight. It takes time, effort, and a willingness to be open and vulnerable. By understanding emotional intimacy, building trust, embracing vulnerability, deepening connections through communication, addressing fears of intimacy, and cultivating lasting relationships, you can create deeper, more meaningful connections with the people who matter most to you. Remember, intimacy is about being real with others and allowing them to be real with you. It's about creating a space where both people feel safe, supported, and valued. By practicing these skills, you'll be able to build stronger, healthier relationships that last a lifetime. As you reach the end of this book, I hope you feel empowered and inspired to apply these lessons to your own life. I know that if you're someone who is truly interested in living a fulfilling and meaningful life, the insights and tools shared here will be gifts that can transform the way you connect with yourself and others. However, the real magic isn't just in reading or understanding these concepts, it's in applying them. So take these gifts, apply them with intention, and watch the magic unfold as you create the life you've always wanted, one filled with connection, growth, and happiness. The path is yours to walk, and I believe in your ability to make it a beautiful one.